Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Words in Margins. Today I will be sharing my 5-star reads that I will be recommending to you guys. Obviously, this is Ishika Mahara and enjoy. The first book that I would like to share with you guys is The Color Purple. It is my one of the favorite. It is the most favorite book. I have read it like 3 times, and I will read it again this year, or maybe not this year. I have big plans for this year, I guess. But I will be reading it next or in a few years. This is such a great read. It talks about this girl, Celie, and the book is written in forms of letters. Celie writes letters to gods, to God, not to gods. I sometimes forget that in Hinduism there are gods, and in Christianity there is God. So letters to God, and I'm not gonna make like I'm not gonna share any spoilers. So I'll just say it talks about feminism. It talks about unsilencing women's voices. It talks about patriarchy. It talks about the social structure, the social hierarchy, how the white people are about like racism, white men, white women, black women, like that. And it follows very different kind of abuses from like you know patriarchy and from racism. People go through different abuses. Men abuse their wives because they are mad at racism, or they are mad because they are below a class. Okay, so this book is very, I want to say, traumatizing, and I do not think if I should or if I should not. But many people do recommend it, and here I am recommending it. I read it when I was 15 years old. Then I read it again 2 or 3 years later. I do not remember. It is a great book. You all will love it, and I hope you all love it. It and I'll share one more thing. The Color Purple was the first book that won Pulitzer Prize written by a black woman, the first book that was written by a black woman. So it it has a power that may want you to read it. Do let me know how you liked it if you try it out. The next one is Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I know. It is a big book, Fyodor Dostoevsky, Russian literature. But if you are deep into reading and if you have read a few classics, then this book, you should read it because it is a very psychological read. It goes into the mind of our protagonist, and we see how the person is struggling after committing a crime, and how he thinks that he is superior than everyone else, how he thinks that nothing matters. It also follows the philosophy of nihilism. And if you want to understand the paradoxical relationship between good and evil, then this book is your call. I know you might say that it is a big book. It is a kind of slow book. It starts slow at first, but see, the thing is that if I like the book a lot, I may not feel like that is a slow book because I am enjoying it. I'm reading it. So I do not feel it is slow because for me the slow book is the one that I get bored with. It is like 660 pages long, and if you do not fear the length, then do try it out. And if you do fear the length, then also do try it out. And if you have already read it, please do share your thoughts in the comment section. I would love to read those. The next one I have is Tess of the D'Urbervilles. It is written by Thomas Hardy. The great Thomas Hardy from the Victorian era. And I read this book for my syllabus, but I fell in love with this one. I really, really, really loved it. Tess, oh my god, I might cry. I am really not trying to cry today, but I will not talk about this one for long because it is very emotional read for me, and I really cried when I read it. So I'll just say that it follows the story of Tess, was assaulted by a man, Alec, and Alec was free. That's all. Tess was the one who struggled because of the social conventions, because of hypocrisy of Victorian morality. But Alec was free. He did whatever he wanted, but Tess was the one who suffered. Tess even married someone, but he also left her. Why? Why? And the subtitle of this book is A Pure Woman. And I'll tell you why. From my perspective, Thomas Hardy subtitled this book A Pure Woman because he is challenging the idea that a pure woman does not come from the virginity of the woman. A pure woman is a woman who is pure by heart, a woman who has done nothing wrong, because virginity is nothing. Uh, it is not something that you can measure the purity with. Right. So she was a victim, yet she was the one who was punished by the societal conventions. So she is the pure woman and she should not have been punished. But you know what? Who should have been punished? Alec. That man, I hate him. The next one I have is a non-fiction book. It is a Virginia Woolf's book, A Room of One's Own. Room of One's Own follows a series of essays, and I do not know if I should say series of essays because it has six chapters. It is a non-fiction book and it is written in essay form. So maybe it is just one essay divided in six parts. I do not know. She talks about how economic independence is important, how physical and intellectual space is important, how women were stripped away of the privilege of writing and education in the past. Right. She also writes about an analogy of Judith Shakespeare, where she talks about if Shakespeare had a sister who was as talented as Shakespeare, would she have received the same praise that Shakespeare did? Would she have received the same popularity as Shakespeare did? And the answer is no. She might have fallen insane. She might have gone insane because people would have called her a witch. And that is not, I'm not the one who's saying that. History is what? History proves that. The next one I have right here in front of me is The Forest of Enchantments. Forest of Enchantments it was written by Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni. It is right, the first book by Indian author in this series, and it is such a written book, lyrically written book. I loved this one because it felt like I was listening to a very melodious song. Okay, it is retelling of Ramayana from the perspective of Sita. Sita is questioning in every single chapter. She is questioning everything. And the way Sita is shown to us as some very pure woman, someone who was very loyal to her husband. In this book also, she is pure, she is loyal to her husband, but she is also questioning why the women around her are suffering. Why is all the authority given to men? Right, and she wants to know where women stand in her society, where women stand, where she lives. She's the one who struggled a lot. She really struggled a lot. And when I reviewed it on my Instagram for my friends, I said this thing: I will always and always be daughter of Masita, and I hope I might find the elegance in me that Masita had, who asked the questions, who was brave enough to say no at the end and to leave, right? I know it is retelling of Ramayana. You all have read Ramayana, but trust me on this one. This is something different. This is something Sita just asks for the authority. She just takes back the voices that were silenced. She just asks for the women in mythology. Where are their voices? what are their stories. And if you like Indian mythology, try this one for sure. So that's the end of the video. And one more thing that I would like to say, I'll just suggest, like, if you like nonfiction, obviously read this one. It is the shortest in this series, in this collection, sorry. The Color Purple has difficult language. So if you do not like to, if you like to read smooth books that just feels like then do not try this one first. Try this one when you are deep into some hard literature, because the language might frighten you at first. But if you like challenges, read it, because I read it when I was 15 years old, and I did not read a lot of books back then, and this was a challenge obviously, but I really liked it. And if you like the challenges, try this out. Another work that is challenging, if you like the psychological elements in the characters, if you like the deep psychology, if you like to look inside the mind of main characters, then try this one. It is a huge book, but it has 6 parts, so maybe read one part every month and read it in 6 months. And I would suggest to not read a whole book in a few days. Just try to you know let it flow. The one that is, if you're new to reading, then try this one out. Chitra Banerjee's The Forest of Enchantments, because it just reads smoothly. I really like this. I will not say that it is very easy read and all, but it reads like a song. I have said it before, I'll say it again. This one reads like a song, like a very, very melodious song, that like something that just very, it is very sweet to ears. It is very nice to read. I really like it. The next one, Test of the Double. If you want to cry, read this one. If you like Victorian novels, read this one. And similarly, and if you want to get angry at someone, be mad at, read this one. Okay, that's all for today. I'll meet you in next video. Let me know if you've read any of these and share your thoughts. Okay, bye.